Hi, welcome to another exciting.
Okay.
Kurt does the same thing repeatedly.
Gotcha.
Maybe I don't speak English that well, but I know funny.
Yeah, well.
He repeats the same things over and again.
He repeats the same things over and over again.
What? Yeah, what
okay, imaginary friends run away from him.
Friends run away from him.
And he should let his hair down metaphorically.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's your diagnosis?
Terminal.
Okay, well.
Not enough sex, no orgasm.
Not enough sex.
Anyway, we have Jody Wood here.
That's why we get along.
I'm not even doing a preamble. We have international actor Jody Wood. Jody has done, let's go over what he's done. Jody started off in soap operas, Guiding Light, One Life to Live. Then he did a lot of TV, Brooklyn South, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Party of Five, Jag, Seventh Heaven, Diagnosis Murder. He played Mr. Cameron opposite Rob Lowe in The West Wing. Oh, you better look into Rob Lowe. Yes, you are. He's worked with Tony Danza in Family Law, Bo Bridges in The Agency, David Caruso, who a lot of people don't like, I heard, in CSI Miami. He's also been in such movies, one of my favorite, LA Confidential. He was in Boogie Nights, Rules of Engagement, Samuel L. Jackson, Jamie Lee Curtis. It goes on and on, blah, blah, blah. Boston Public. He's also a gifted, and I might sound biased, because I'm not only am I a talk show host, I'm also a customer of JW Acting. And now JW Acting is celebrating its 10th anniversry. And
JW Actor
give us a little
Studio.
synopsis of what's been going on these 10 years and what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, it's JW Actor Studio, only because as an homage to the Actor Studio in New York, that's really all it is. But we're excited to be celebrating our 10th anniversary coming up here in 2017. It kind of just happened. You know, I was in LA working quite a bit and doing my thing, and we came back here for several reasons to get back and do it from the New York, the East Coast again. And just started. I never thought I'd run an acting studio ever. I thought, that's furthest thing from what I'd be doing. But people started saying, "Hey, Jody, my son's got an audition. He's got a manager now. Can you help him with an audition?" "Yeah, sure. Come on over." And then that word started spreading around, and I started charging a few bucks an hour to do that. And,
Oh, really? There's no plan?
No, not at all. I was just working as an actor and doing my thing, voiceovers and stuff.
So private tutorials became assistant.
Because one woman who's running some things here in Princeton, her daughter was one of my clients, if you will, and then we started talking about the Princeton Dance and Theater Studio down in Forestall Village, and they had a theater program there that wasn't going very well. It was being run by some folks out of New Brunswick, and it just wasn't happening. And so I said, well, I'd like to give it a shot. So I kind of worked for them for about 8 months doing acting classes. Very few people signing up, but I started building this thing, and I could see why that the theater portion wasn't going very well, because it was really 100% focused on ballet. And I even tried to make deals with them. I said, "This is going to be an acting studio. Can we take all these ballet slippers down and make it look a little more manly?" And they finally did that. And but I could see that they weren't really pushing it. So I thought, I like this. I think I'm pretty good at this. I'd like to see if I can build something here in Princeton, and I did. So we made a deal, and it all worked out. And the reason I started doing this, if you don't mind me saying, was that I had children that grew up here. After living in South Pasadena, California for a number of years, we came back to Hopewell, and I started seeing a lot of the shows and plays around here in the schools, because friends of ours, kids were growing up, and Hopewell School, Princeton High School, PDS, lots of different places, and I thought, man, this music is really good. Mm-hmm. The singing is outstanding. The choreography is amazing. The acting was nothing, to be honest with you. I hate to say it, but it's true. I thought it would in musicals especially, the acting was just an excuse to get to the next song. Mm-hmm. I thought, man, if these kids could learn what the craft of acting really is, boy, there can be some seriously good productions.
That leads you. What is the? How do you take the person and let them grow? How do you transform them? The process, so to speak, be it improv or scene study.
Well, I'm very improvisationally based. I learned a lot of things through the years based on techniques taught by some of the great acting teachers of the 20th century, Uta Hagen, Sandy Meisner, and people like Stella Adler. I kind of combined the things I learned from them, and then there's the goddess of improv, Viola Spolin, who was improv really changed my life.
You were in the Groundlings.
I was
right.
with the Groundlings East. They came here from LA, and they opened up in East Coast.
Is this a comedy-based improv?
Yeah, that's comedy-based.
Okay.
They're the precursor to a lot of things, Second City TV and everything, and then improv, for those who don't know. Is that correct?
SCTV, Second City is the giant. They're the giant, and the Mike Nichols and Elaine May and all those people that just, it's still to this day the giant.
Why are you on this show right? I don't get it. Anyway, go on. I'm just denigrating myself. Anyway.
Why am I on the show? You're my friend.
You're talking about Adler and Brando and everything.
I don't know those people. I'm just saying I learned their techniques.
You've been in that world, though.
I've learned their techniques, and they worked for me, and they don't work, whatever works for you. Yeah. I kind of combine those things that I learned from these, not from them, actually, from their disciples. I'm not that old, Adam. Jesus Christ.
No, but we were around when some of these giants.
Oh, definitely. Well, like when Brando and Pacino and those guys were learning from Strasberg and those people, we were growing up.
Right.
Pacino's like 72 now, so.
But, I was asked to write down why I think you're good. And again, I am a customer, so you might call me biased. So, because you really are attuned to what the class needs and what they want and their skills. And at the same time, you don't give anyone, phony advice, but you are so nurturing at the same time, and you're compassionate, and you're creative, and you're energetic, and stuff. And you listen to what people want to do, and you tailor the class. Again, you do improv, you do you do lessons by yourself with someone else, you do scenes. Now you're doing with what? We have a testimonial right here.
I'm a testimonial, to the classes, of course, that I've been in, but I've also been doing individual coaching sessions with Jody for voiceover work. It's been marvelous. It's just been so fascinating.
Well, how have you changed as a person?
How have I
Confidence,
changed?
Talking to other people?
Yeah, I think it's been a slow sort of manifestation of parts of myself that I was out of touch with for many years. Kind of the more creative side of myself. Although paradoxically, being a psychotherapist, what really has struck me is how much what Jody teaches sounds like what I do in therapy with people. Which is
so not only you discover your id, you gain confidence.
Right.
What are some of the basic techniques that you're learning here?
Well, and you can talk about this. It's your class, but talk about the listening and about that authenticity and truth in the present moment, because that's what you want to do if you're a good therapist. That's what you want to have happen in therapy. So, go ahead.
The number one thing, and anyone will tell you this that knows anything about acting, all the greats will tell you the number one thing an actor has to do is to listen. To really listen and be fully focused in every moment to moment. We've talked about moment to moment work.
I didn't hear what you said. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, that's exactly.
He's listening.
Yeah, see, but that's actually true. But people don't really listen a lot of times.
They don't.
In life,
and the older we get, the less we listen. And you show that what we missed. We do some of the exercises I really did miss what that person was doing because I wasn't focusing.
Right. And in improvisation, that can be the death of the scene. If I miss something because I'm not listening, or I'm trying to think of something funny to say down the road, I missed a moment there. Right. And improvisation, we always said that every moment is an explosion of opportunity, and you never know what's going to happen.
Well, you keep it fun at the same time. I was afraid you're going to be like, we must do the art, and you must suffer, and you must listen to me. I was afraid of that.
I hated stuff like that. I walked out of classes like that. I couldn't stand them. These hoity-toity acting teachers, make you fearful to go in the room.
But it's fun. It's a game. You still learn. And you still understand what you're trying to put through. But we have a good time. Yeah. And then we kind of come together, at least for that brief time, as a family. Dysfunctional, so maybe.
I'll tell you, this past couple of classes was amazing. How everybody bonded like that. Went out for drinks. Went out for dinner, whatever. You had the party at your house. You had the rehearsal when I was out of town.
Yeah.
What about the business model? Are you even getting bigger now? They're doing corporate. I mean, every time I talk to you, you're coming back from California or Las Vegas. Unless you're just having fun. I don't know.
No, it's fun. I love what I do.
Oh, okay. You're not betting. There's not showgirls.
No, God, no. That's the last thing I would need.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I have a leg of this business called Play for Success, which is a improv-based corporate organizational team building workshops that I do. And I get teams together to really, again, listen to one another. Build on each other's ideas, what you have to do in improv. Focus and collaborate. Communication is so key today. I mean, there's so many people that are organizations that are just dysfunctional, and there's too many silos and blah blah blah. It's just so what I do is get the teams together, and we run depending on the specific issue that they have, like breaking down silos. Our team isn't communicating enough. We don't collaborate enough. We need more team building. We need more support of one another. But the key with improv, as you guys know, is building on the other's idea. Yes and. The two magic words that can change your life, really. Yes and. Do you say yes to everything in life? Of course not. But it's the basis, the foundation of improvisation is yes, I'm listening, and I'm going to build on that idea. Maybe a terrible idea in the beginning, but at least it had that opportunity to breathe and live and could grow into something really great. And that happens so many times with the
But you've also seen people grow with people because of that. Because you can use improv in everyday life.
Absolutely.
Listening,
The confidence that kids that I've worked with have used, oh my God, over the years. You know, Jody, my son's raising his hand in class much more. My daughter is just doing much better on their tests. They get up and have no fear doing their presentations in class. And they go on and on and on. And one of the great stories I had, there was a girl, I don't know if I can say her name, but she's a Princeton resident, and she's doing really, really well now. She's been with me since she was 14 years old. She's now on her own, doing her thing. We get together once in a while to work.
Well, we can say you have Meryl Streep.
She looks just like her, though. Anyway, we were doing some interviews for local newspapers around here a couple of years ago, because she was doing a TV show with De Niro and a Spike Lee movie and all this great stuff. And
you've not done that for me, but anyway, we'll bet.
Well, she's much prettier than you.
Okay,
but. Anyway, I'm walking out of we're walking down Nassau Street, and this young man comes out, this guy Milos.
Well, you're not a therapist, so you can say people's names, can't
anyway,
you?
Milos was a great kid. He was in war-torn Serbia, Yugoslavia, and he was really, nervous, and he couldn't stand still or look anybody in the eye when I first met him, so we worked on these techniques, and through acting and improv. I'm telling you, 3 years later, he came walking out of the Nassau Street. I'm doing this thing with Lizzie. I'm so proud of her and all this stuff. And he said, Mr. Wood. I said, you call me Jody. Jody, I just wanted to let you know that I got into the political science program at Georgetown University. And I know that I could have never done that if it wasn't for your class.
Wow.
That made me feel better than saying this girl was in a Robert De Niro movie. I swear, it's improv.
Right.
And so we could, the things we do for kids around here is just so
Before
proud.
I get questions from the Princeton audience, because they asked me, can you give your bona fides, do a little hyping for yourself, how they can reach you, what your website is? I like the way you did your website. It seems to be done. Very, very interactive, very easy to use.
We're still actually trying to improve that, but thank you. It's www.jwactorstudio.com, 1S, and playforsuccessnj.com is for the corporate stuff. And I've been doing a lot of significant work around here in Princeton area. So there's so many great Bristol Myers Squibb, etc. Munich Reinsurance. It's been awesome.
Yeah, the corporate side. Okay, Jody, a question from the audience. What emotional trauma got you into acting? Did your parents want to disown you from Staten Island? You're a Staten Island boy,
from
right?
Staten Island, yeah.
Adam wrote that question.
That was not for me, although you might have thought so.
I don't know exactly what emotional trauma led to it. I was one of 8 kids, the seventh of 8 kids.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Irish Catholic family, Staten Island. And I guess, we have a very funny family, and, I just had to keep up, I guess. I always thought I was going to be a cop, so I never really thought about it.
Instead, you play one on TV.
I played one on TV. It's much safer.
Russell Crowe was a nice guy. You said when you
Very nice.
Okay.
Great guy.
I'm not a talk show host, but I play one on TV.
Okay, Jody, I don't think anyone can make me lose my inhibitions. How can improv or acting, especially in front of, how can you lose inhibitions doing that? Maybe you've already answered that question, but.
No, I've answered it several times, and you could see it, I have a way of making people feel safe and a really good environment where it's okay. No one's judging anybody.
Right. Very
Because those
important.
kinds of improv is a very scary word. It's like, oh my God, I have to be funny, I have to be brilliant, I have to be you don't have to be anything, just be present. And just try it.
And pay your bill.
And pay the bill,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Make sure the check is good.
Yeah.
What, as an actor, everyone wants to be an actor, I guess. What advice would you give to your younger self to save yourself time to get in the biz? Because, let's be honest, I'm not saying you're George Clooney, but you still acted. You're in the top 1% because most actors actually don't make a living doing it.
Right.
So what?
Definitely not George Clooney. Work harder. I would give myself that. I would give my younger self that advice. Work harder at it. Don't ever, to try to cut corners. Don't don't take no for an answer
And poison your competition.
and poison the competition.
But in the final minute, then you have to be really focused. I mean, getting married might not be an option. All that kind of stuff might be.
Yeah, well, you know, I got married right out of school. I don't know if that's the best advice to give a young actor, but it was tough, very tough, many times. But she understood the world that we were in, and but you know, I've got 2 great kids. I love them. I'm proud of them. My daughter's out in LA now.
Lucy
acting
Wood,
and
who was on this
singing.
show.
That's
Is
right.
she
She
an
was on the
actor
show.
as well?
She's an actor as well.
Wow.
And she's a great singer and songwriter. So, but,
We have to wrap it up. Any more questions before we let Jody go? Anything
No,
else?
I just want to say that I think that it's amazing the way you are able to create that safety and spontaneity in the class and to just create this atmosphere that's non-judgmental and playful. And I think that's what really allows people to access these different parts of themselves that maybe they didn't know were there.
Yes, and we
Yes.
have to wrap it up, though. I'm sorry, but Jody Wood, thank you very much. Hope
Thank
you come
you.
back again. And check out
welcome.
Jody W. Wood acting.
jwactorsstudio.com.
.com. He's not going to let me back now because I bought you.
Nah.
Thank you. We'll be right back.